Hey guys, welcome back to Gupshup with Nas. Hope you all are doing good. The topic that we will discuss today is regarding the documents that you will be needing when you apply for your permanent residency in Canada. You need to submit certain documents when you apply for your PR, that is permanent residency for Canada, and these documents will be assessed by IRCC, and based on these documents you will be eligible for PR, that is permanent residency. So the first most important document is your passport and the family members that are accompanying you. The most important thing about passport is that it should be valid for at least 6 months when you are submitting your passport for the PR visa. If the validity of your passport is less than 6 months when you submit your passport for visa, they might reject and send you back the passport. So make sure the validity of your passport is more than 6 months. Uh, your passport is not damaged in any case, the papers are not coming out, because in this case they will send you back and your process will be delayed. The second most important document, or we can say requirement, that is needed for your PR application is the English language competency test. So either you can give the test in English or you can give the test in French. For English, there are two types of test, IELTS or CELPIP. Make sure to give the general test for IELTS and CELPIP because only these tests are accepted for immigration purposes. So when you apply for your PR application, you should be having this result with you. So make sure that you are appearing for your exam, appearing for the English test beforehand, so your documents are ready with you when you apply for your PR application. The validity of your English test is 2 years. So whenever you apply for your application, make sure your English test is not expired, because if you will submit the expired test, or in the process if your test is expired, the PR application will be rejected. So whenever you see that your English test is going to expire, appear for another exam, and when you have the result, upload the latest one in your application. The third document that you need and is very important is your education documents verification. If you have studied outside Canada, you need to compare your education according to the education in Canada. So for that, you need educational credential assessment. In my previous videos also, I have discussed about the education credential assessment that you can do from various resources. What does education credential assessment do? It verifies your education, your foreign education diploma certificate, and it shows that it is comparable to a Canadian education. Whenever you're applying for education credential assessment for your permanent residency, make sure you're applying for ECA for a immigration purpose only. There are two types, and one is for immigration and one is for the education purposes. So whenever you're applying for express entry or PR application, do apply the ECA for immigration purposes only. Next document is the birth certificate of all the family members. Make sure it is scanned and uploaded properly. If you are married, make sure to submit your marriage certificate also. Make sure all your documents that you are submitting are translated into English, because sometimes the birth certificate and marriage certificate are uh, written in our local language, that will not be acceptable. If it is written in your local language, make sure to translate it and attest it before uploading for the permanent residency application. The fifth document that is important is your police clearance certificates. For police clearance certificate, you need to go to your local police station and apply for that. Make sure to apply for your police certificates beforehand, because sometimes it takes long time to get your clearance certificate. When you open your express entry profile and you are invited to apply for your PR residency, you will be having only 60 days to submit all your documents that are asked for. So keeping your police certificate in hand will make it easier for you. The validity of the police clearance certificate is only for 6 months, so make sure when you are submitting your documents for PR application, it is valid. So police clearance certificate is not only needed by the primary applicant, it is needed by all the family members who are 18 years and older. Okay. And the second important thing is, wherever you have stayed, like in any country that you have stayed over 6 months in the last 10 years, you need to have a clearance certificate from that country also. So the next document or the requirement that you have is proof of funds. How much money do you need to come to Canada to apply for your permanent residency? Now this amount changes every year. So make sure when you apply for your permanent residency, match the amount what is required, and make sure that this amount is there with you. IRCC update this amount every year, so make sure when you are applying for your permanent residency, you have that amount that is mentioned according to how many family members you are. Okay. If you are applying alone for permanent residency, you will be needing 13,310 Canadian dollars. If you are a family member of two, then you will be needing 16,570 Canadian dollars. If you are a family of three, you will be needing 20,371 Canadian dollars, and so on. So it depends upon the number of family members, how much fund you need to show for your PR application. Now let's discuss how you can show these funds to IRCC when you are applying for your PR application. So you can submit your bank accounts, bank statements. The bank statement should be for the past 6 months, that you are maintaining this amount for the past 6 months. Now there is a format when you are submitting your bank statement. The bank statement should be on the letterhead. It should have the bank address, the bank telephone number, and the bank statement should be for the past 6 months. Other than the bank statement, you can also show your certificates or bonds that you have for your savings. Don't submit any documents for your properties because these are not accepted as a proof of funds. When you will apply for your PR application, you will be asked for your photographs. They will give you the criteria, and according to that criteria, you need to take your photos. Make sure these photographs are taken in the previous 6 months. If it is more than 6 months, it will not be accepted. Now, the most important and the last document that you need is your employment experience certificates. Now, there is a criteria for the experience certificate. It cannot be just 2-3 lines that you worked in this company and this for the salary and done. This kind of letter will not be accepted by IRCC. There is a format that you can find anywhere online, and I will also tell you what is the format. This letter must be written on the company letterhead, and it should be signed by the reasonable officer or the supervisor or the HR manager. The letterhead must show the company's address, the telephone number, and any email or websites. And there should be a stamp of the official company. What should be included in this letter? It is the specific period of employment with the company, the position you have held during the period of the employment, your main responsibilities and duties in each position. Like you need to describe your main responsibilities, what was your responsibilities in a bullet form, your total annual salary plus benefits in each position, and the number of hours worked per week in each position. So this is a requirement for the experience certificate. If your experience certificate will not fall in this criteria, it might not be accepted. So make sure wherever you have worked, approach to that company and make your experience letters beforehand. So as I tell you that you will be having 60 days when you have to submit all your requirements, all your documents when you are invited to apply for PR application. So you won't be having time. So make sure these employment certificates are ready beforehand so you can just upload them. So these are the main documents that IRCC will request you when you apply for your PR application. So you will be needing your passport, your English language assessment results, your police clearance certificates, your photographs, your birth certificate or and marriage certificate. Then comes the proof of funds. You can submit your bank statements, certificates, or bonds, the education credential assessments, and your employment experience letters. So I hope you like this video. You got some information what all documents we need for your PR. And if you have any questions, if you want to ask anything, connect me on Instagram or you can leave a comment below. I'll see you in my next video. Till then, bye from Gupshup with Naz.